All right, so let's spend a few moments and take a look at the view tools within the CAD viewer of Trimble Connect. So we're going to start back in the project, and under the CAD files, if you've uploaded the drawings to the CAD files folder, let's go ahead and go back to that site plan drawing by selecting the checkbox, coming over to the View In dropdown and select CAD Viewer. We'll go ahead and close out this Accept All for the cookies. So in the CAD viewer, you'll see the first thing is when I use my wheel mouse. So if you have a wheel mouse, if you press that wheel mouse down, you can pan your drawing. If you roll the wheel away from you, you'll see that you zoom in. And as I roll it back towards me, it zooms out. So I can put my cursor, and where I put my cursor, you can see it's going to zoom in about that cursor. So wherever you put your cursor and you roll your wheel, that's where you're panning and zooming. Holding the middle mouse button down will pan. If you right click as well and move your cursor, you'll pan also. So again, I tend to use the wheel mouse. If you don't have a wheel mouse and you have a tablet, if you left click on that tablet over in the lower right hand corner of your tablet and hold it down, you can see that I can still pan and zoom. Obviously, having a wheel mouse makes all the difference in the world. So over to the left, you have those same tools. You have the pan tool. So if I click on that, it automatically puts myself into a hand. And if you left click, it holds and moves your drawing around. Same thing, I just go back to the wheel mouse. If I use the magnifying glass where the zoom is, you can see I can either zoom fit or zoom window. If I zoom fit, it will zoom to the extent of your drawing. If you do the zoom window, you click in the upper left and hold your left mouse button down and drag to the lower right, and then let go and click again, and it will zoom in about that window. So we'll try one more time. I'm in the zoom window. You can see my cursor changes, so I can left click. And I don't have to hold the left mouse button down. I just have to left click once. That starts the rectangle. And I left click again where the bottom lower right hand corner of my rectangle is, and it will zoom in to that particular area. If I scroll out, I can pan and zoom as well. The 3D orbit, you can see that I can do a constrained orbit, a free orbit. So if you click on that little triangle, it will, or actually in the icon there, it will provide a pop-out, and that pop-out lets you pick a different orbit option. So if I click orbit center, constrained, free, you can see that basically I can orbit around the Z axis. So you can see my XY is changing, and now my XY is pointed. So this is north is up now, and it's orbited around there. You can go back to a vertical orbit, and that's going to rotate it up and down, right? So I'm moving my mouse away from me or towards me, I'm rotating it up and down. I can switch to a horizontal orbit where I'm orbiting it around this way, and you can do a constrained orbit. Again, it's kind of more of a free-flowing orbit, and you can click rebuild and that'll refresh. This lets me change it back to a top view. So now that I orbited, I can switch it back. So these let me change to a top view, a left view, right? So I can see that I got objects that aren't, it's not all completely flat. I got objects in 3D. I can do a southwest isometric view or go back, or any of the other options and go back to top, right? So it just gives you an idea of the view commands. we'll talk about these other commands. We talked a little bit about the get entities properties. The rebuild command just kind of refreshes your drawing, so you'll kind of reloads it and rebuilds it. And then you've got your inquiry commands, and we'll talk about those in the following video.